Hey guys, what's up? So welcome back to a new episode. It's been a very long time since our last episode. It was actually back in 2023. Obviously the season did not end too well for the Yankees, finishing 82 and 80, worst record in over 20 years. Hopefully going into the new season here that starts in, it's honestly insane to say, 2 weeks away now, that it's a much different season than last year. Obviously major expectations given the additions in the offseason of Juan Soto, Alex Verdugo, Trent Grissom. Although the Yankees have their own problems going on right now with injuries, such as Garrett Cole that went down, which we'll talk about today, and as well as Aaron Judge also having a kind of a rib problem slash abdominal problem that we don't really know what's going on. It's very very weird. So I would just say, like, looking into the future, we're going to be trying to go for maybe 1 to 2 episodes a week, maybe series by series. We'll kind of see what's going on depending on what the viewers want, and we'll go from there. Let's just get right into it. So the Yankees, obviously, as I just said, Garrett Cole went down, the ace of the staff, with an injury. Um, and again, a lot of people, for whatever reason, they're kind of spinning this as like good news because it's not Tommy John surgery. I think that's so ridiculous. I mean, originally the Yankees said that it was a precautionary MRI with his elbow. Apparently, he was feeling some sort of discomfort after a one of his spring training starts. And I said it was precautionary. So again, the gaslighting begins almost immediately. Precautionary and lowering expectations. The Yankees trying to sort of spin this thing as not a big deal. I mean, you're seeing it with Judge right now too. Aaron Judge, they said, oh, he'll be playing this weekend in a game. He's not playing. He's not playing. Boone just straight out lied to the media, and the fans just like buy it. I mean, many of them just buy it. Many call them out for it, but they just blatantly lie to the fans, and it's been going on for years now. But I mean, going into the new season, it's ridiculous this is still happening. But Garrett Cole, I mean, it is true the worst case scenario was avoided. I mean, they said 8 to 12 weeks. He could return in. I think it was some sort of strain, but it does not seem as though it was torn, which is great news. Although Garrett Cole actually said recently that it could be only 4 weeks, the injury. It was like a nerve damage, but hopefully they repair that. And he said maybe he could start up throwing again in maybe 3 4 weeks, which would obviously be great news. Hopefully he can be back by realistically early May, but knowing the Yankees, they'll slow walk it and he'll be back by June, which is not great. I mean, the staff in itself is not great as it is. I mean, you have Cortez, who's going to be starting opening day. Rodon, who's been more decent in spring, but I mean, who knows? Obviously, a major question mark going into the season. And then you have Marcus Stroman, who I think is going to be very solid for them, but there's some controversy around him not wanting to start opening day, which is a little interesting, but I don't think it's as big of a deal as many people are making it seem. Um, but again, and of course you have Clark Schmidt, who's been on and off this spring. But again, it's a decent staff, I think, but it's nowhere near enough for what you need, especially with Cole going down, which is why it makes even more no sense that Blake Snell's still out there, Jordan Montgomery's still out there, and the Yankees just don't seem to be interested, which is kind of bizarre. I mean, you had Brian Cashman say and Hal Steinbrenner say pencils aren't down. We're still looking for additions, and this was before Garrett Cole got hurt. I mean, you would think that after your ace goes down, who's going to be missing at minimum 2 months, realistically, you'd be interested. But for whatever reason, they just are totally fine with what's going on. And the Astros, it came out today, they offered Snell 2 for 66. The Yankees can't match that and add the NL Cy Young Award winner. It's bizarre. It makes no sense. I mean, there's some rumors they're interested in Michael Lorenzen. I mean, in a year where Juan Soto's a free agent after this, who knows if he'll be back? You would think that, you'd be going all in for these guys, but they just don't seem to be interested. And it's honestly pretty ridiculous. And there should be more scrutiny on them because it's totally unacceptable as far as I'm concerned that they're just slow walking this. And again, obviously it's a lot very negative right now with my sentiment, but I am feeling very confident for the most part going into the year, but it just has to be talked about what's going on because the amount of gaslighting coming from the organization is unbelievable. And then you have Judge's injury where they're pretty much saying that it's an abdominal strain. He'll be playing in the regular season. Like if it was a regular season, he'd be playing, but I mean, who knows? I mean, just the amount of misinformation coming from the Yankees on their injuries. I mean, you don't know what to believe. I mean, it's kind of crazy, but chances are he'll be fine. I'm sure they're just playing it slow, but it's certainly something to keep an eye on. Hopefully, he'll be back in there this week in some games, but um, we'll see what happens. As I said, there was some controversy over Marcus Stroman because he kind of, I guess, rejected starting opening day, which is kind of odd, to be totally honest with you. But a lot of people I've seen, like WFAN, they're kind of spinning it as if, they said, "Oh, Marcus, you're pitching opening day," and he said no. That's not really. I'm assuming that's not what happened. I'm assuming the Yankee just asked him what he would prefer, and he said probably the home opener he would prefer. I don't really think it's a big deal. If it was a situation where they asked him, "Yo, Marcus, you got to pitch opening day," and he said no, that would be a different scenario. But I just don't think that's what happened, and there's no evidence that that is what happened. So I mean, we'll see what happens with that. He'll pitch the home opener. Cortez will pitch the home opener or the away opener, which will be in Houston for opening day. And again, it's not a great start for the Yankees in terms of schedule. I mean, they start 4 in Houston, 3 in Arizona. I mean, hopefully they can go, especially with Cole out, it makes it even more difficult. Hopefully you can go at least 4-3 in those 7 games, maybe 5-2, especially going into the home opener. If you start a 5-2 going home, it would be an amazing amount of energy, especially with Juan Soto coming in. And again, we started off pretty negative, but I mean, the Yankees did have the biggest move of the offseason, as far as I'm concerned. Signing Juan Soto, bringing him in, even on a 1-year deal. I mean, it's amazing. You're the two best hitters in baseball. You have Aaron Judge and Juan Soto going back to back in the order. It's going to be unbelievable to watch. I mean, I think you could potentially see 100 home runs combined. And that might be crazy, but I don't think it's that unreasonable given how good these players are. Soto in a contract year, Judge is Judge. The only reason he didn't have 60 net last year is because he got hurt. I mean, if he didn't get hurt, he probably does have minimum 55 home runs. I mean, the pace he was on was pretty unbelievable again. Um, so again, they get Juan Soto. You have to give up Michael King, which is pretty frustrating. You want to keep a guy like that, but I mean, for a guy like Juan Soto, it's totally fine. And you're going to have a lot of outfielders too. I mean, you have Trent Grisham, who I think is going to be better than people expect. Verdugo, who's kind of a wild card, but more of a contact hitter, which is what the Yankees need, given their lineup structure. You have Volpe, who's been super interesting in spring training, hitting a lot better than he did in the regular season. It seems as though he's kind of switched his swing a little bit. So whoever altered that, I mean, thank you, because he's looking really good. He'll be an interesting player to watch. I mean, again, the structure is there where you can totally make a case that their lineup can be real, real good, like seriously good. Um, but again, things have to go right. Health needs to stay relatively in the forefront for the Yankees. I mean, all it takes is a couple of injuries and things can get totally derailed. I mean, we're already seeing it with the starting rotation and Cole. So again, we'll see what happens there. But I think overall, you have to give the Yankees probably a B plus at this point for the offseason. You just got Juan Soto. It's tough to give them a poor score when you get arguably one of the best hitters. No, not arguably. I mean, the second best hitter in baseball, in my opinion, under Judge. And again, a lot of players such as Stanton, they're going to be wild cards. Maybe he lost a ton of weight coming into spring. If he can find even like something, hit 35 home runs and stay relatively healthy, I mean, the Yankees lineup is going to be unbelievable if that happens. Obviously, a major question mark. So again, I'm actually going to be going to Tampa for spring training next weekend. So we'll see if we can get some footage on the ground there. Maybe talk to some people. I mean, again, we're jumping the gun a little bit, but we'll see what's going on with that. And again, this is just the first episode back, just kind of giving a quick review of what's been going on, how we're going to go with episodes in the future. I mean, we'll give some more. We'll probably go in series by series for future episodes. We'll have a season preview episode giving predictions for each player. We'll do kind of stuff like that before the season starts, which is, again, as I said, only 2 weeks away. But again, I would say the Yankees, they should not be done in their offseason yet. I guess that's what I would say coming on here now. They should sign a pitcher because you don't have enough right now. I'm sorry you don't. Especially after the Yankees said they're not done in the offseason. Your ace gets hurt and then you don't sign anyone. It makes no sense at all. So the Yankees should definitely be looking to add more to what they have now. I think their bullpen is really good. I think that's probably one of their strengths. Clay Holmes, I think, is super underrated at this point. You have Ferguson, who they kind of replaced Wandy with as a lefty out of the bullpen. Jonathan Loizaga, and Luis Heel will be probably in the bullpen at some point too, who's looked amazing this spring. So, I mean, again, the makeup is there for a really good bullpen. I think you could have a good starting rotation, but a lot of question marks. Again, Rodon, how's he going to be? It comes down to a lot of stuff, and we'll be talking about it more in the coming weeks. We'll be in Tampa this weekend for spring training. Hopefully, get some footage there. And yeah, guys, I hope there's going to be more episodes coming in the future, more series by series, and we'll be more consistent than we were last season. So, thank you guys for watching. Drop a like, subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time. Thanks.